Help me bring him home.
Then we'll see each other soon. Crow out.
Taken portals, awoken dimensions. Fine. Go, Guardian. Take the crow's path. You trust this thing? I am not far ahead of you, Guardian. We converge on Osiris' signal.
I don't think Savathun has control of them anymore.
The Guardian has broken their portal! Keep behind us! We will not let them harm you!
More than enough.
The Guardian has broken their portal! Keep behind us! We will not let them harm you! Stand, friend! You will not fall today! And you with me, cow of cows! Together, we are enough!
The Guardian is almost here. Stay down. Stay quiet.
Ha 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 ha!
Walk it alongside me. For Osiris.
There's an awoken device near you. It should let you slip into the Ascendant Plane and get you closer to Osiris.
No matter. My bullets do not know the difference.
But rest assured, I will return him safely to you. In exchange for your assistance.
Guardian, many taken signals falling on you.
Crow and I used them to hide from Rathborn.
Where is Osiris?
He called you?
No, go home. This is not your fight to take, it is mine.
Someone once told me that the line between light and dark is very thin.
Queen of lies! Pray this is the one time you are telling truth.
Word to the wise. Bringing down Quria left the Taken rattled.
What is it?
Lower your weapons. Osiris still lives.
The Vanguard must know what has happened here. Stay, Guardians. I will go. What are you doing here, bird brother? Did Zavala not send you away? Guardian, thank you for accompanying me.
And Osiris?
He has acted rashly in the past, but I have never seen him willingly endanger the city. Whatever happens, friend, we cannot lose him. Even if I do not understand, I must believe his actions have purpose.
A big Rathborn headed your way too. Stalk. We were stalking, not hiding.
This will guide you. A powerful relic of awoken design. Take it and return to your helm.
Ikora issued an order for Osiris's arrest. She has questions about his involvement in Lakshmi's attack on the Elitsni.
Still fumbling around in the overworld, old light?
My sister Zivor Rath hunts me on behalf of another. I wish only to be free, and Marasav has graciously agreed to help.
The Ascendant Plane should skirt you past the Hive's barricades. Just be sure to mind the Taken.
I am Savathun, the Witch Queen, sister of shapes, deepest in the Hive Coven, etc., etc.
Lectures? You know nothing. Osiris is not himself, and I will be the one to bring him back. Be brave. Osiris is not far ahead. We will be as the mighty crabs of old and pincer them. Break their lines and meet me at Osiris' signal. Old friend, it is an honor to fly alongside you, though our mission is grim. I volunteered to collect him from the Dreaming City, where he now hides. No one will touch Osiris until I know the truth.
This thing and I have come to an agreement. You need only cooperate.
Sweet that you should care, little bird. I have been Osiris for as long as you have known him.
I am making way through the opposite flank from you. The Hive are swarming. Geppetto says there's another ghost nearby. Lightbearer, reveal yourself. Something is wrong. I have felt it for some time now. He is distant.
You can't keep him in a cage, Saint. You're not the only one who cares about him. That would be me. Osiris called me for help. With all these Hive around, I can see why. This reeks of Xivu Arath.
I've been adding to my favorite, the twin kestrels whose hearts beat as one. The storm is singing to us, said Agur. We should sing back to show it we are not afraid. Sister, I wonder when the spies you have following me will find these. Do you still walk the old paths we made? In this story, Agur fixated on the dark clouded pox that marred the night above the canopy.
Xivu Arath's subordinate came to my doorstep as a thief. Their death is the price of encroachment.
Mother's old tales come to mind. She rose as queen, but did not gift Agur the scepter. His scepter. Despite everything, she still said he wasn't ready.
I understand you bear some knowledge of the Awoken, but our creation is still only myth to you, Warlock. Hear the truth. In Ulrin's hands, it could have connected every edge of my kingdom. You're done here. I'll send for you when more skews reveal themselves.
Together the twins led the flock away from the oak's hollow, to carve new nests in distant boughs beyond the forest's edge. Most nights, Riga and Agur sat beneath the stars to dream, twin hearts sounding a duet of beats. Like ours, Mara. I still feel yours. Still distant. She would offer him the scepter their mother had crafted for him. The scepter that Riga selfishly kept. You'll have to tell me what you think when I return with the scepter.
Even through death, he hasn't outgrown that dependency. I see it in him as he looks longingly to his ghost for answers. To you.
But Mother Kestrel's talon caught him. She scolded him to never leave the canopy. Mother Kestrel watched perfect daughter Riga as she plotted the infinite paths of the hollow, as if concocting a plan for each way it could grow. She didn't scold him or tell Mother Kestrel. She listened and heard the possibility in his tale. Gratitude. Imagine that.
So I guided him, filled the gaps in his memory. I gave him a star to follow. Either my brother found this place without my knowledge and set it off.
Summoning ritual failed. Frankly, I'm relieved. Who knows what might have popped out?
Another daring venture to win my affections, against my better wishes. He often embedded travel logs into his skews. Here, some, like Uldren, required help. His mind was like an unsteady fawn. No surprise he was unable to do it on his own.
Riga wove her voice with his, and the thunder resounded. She did not sing with him again after that night.
Like a certain faction head who shall remain nameless?
Riga scattered prophetic bones and traced their curvature like weathered oaken bends.
While you wait, you needn't stand idle like a lost child. Return to me. My borders are threatened.
Understood. Seek out and destroy their leader before their magic proliferates any further.
She held him in crushing closeness and vowed not to show him the stars again. He grew to resent her protection.
A defensive ward has been engaged over the scepter. It is a failsafe to keep it protected.
Rare to see stars in the ascended plane. I wish we were doing this together. Why hide the scepter if it weren't a test?
Guardian, Glint tells me that you fought the Headless Ones. I thought they were just a legend.
I wish you just give it to me. I could use it to help us face what we both know is coming. It doesn't even belong to you.
Records show that a team of Exos disappeared here long ago. They're real, Ikora? I stared right into their big, flaming pumpkin eyes myself. Don't worry, Guardian. You'll have other chances to conjure unspeakable horrors.
He knelt before Riga and presented the crown of feathers their mother had crafted for her, and waited for her to respond in kind. Through lightning and chaos, he followed it home. Agar told Riga of the storm, the forest's edge, and the gleaming bulbs of starlight clashing overhead. But with her son, Agar, Mother instead held him tight beneath her wing in the oak's hollow. In those pathways they traded secrets. Secrets Riga whispered to the flock, hoping to push them beyond the hollow, beyond the forest. Agar, much loved by the flock, convinced a great many to fly with the twins when they left the hollow.
Aldrin found Osana's prescriptions restrictive. I never considered her a mother myself, but her dreams of foresight interested me, or the ward was engaged when the surrounding architecture suffered structural damage.
Most people think they were hallucinations, but some think they were the Headless Ones.
This coming storm he speaks of was the flashpoint.
I figured it was rude to ask. The Festival of the Lost reminds us that the universe is full of scary and forgotten phenomena. We can confirm that, Ikora. This place is filled with hive summoning circles. Part of what drove the miners mad was a terrible, incurable insomnia.
One night, Agar grew impatient of her silence and pointed to one of the dark spots as it roared with thunder.
To expand and connect the kingdom under my reign, Agar's scepter in hand, he would have used it to open doors and challenge foes best left alone. He was not unlike a guardian already.
Some say they turned into terrible headless monsters. There's lots of stories from the Golden Age about the miners who went missing here.
Their flaming pumpkin eyes? I thought they were headless.
In them the signs were clear. A great storm did indeed approach, they in its path, and so they prepared themselves for war.
A ritual timed out. A ritual circle has lapsed.
Dark clouds surrounded them. Fires burned within trees, split by thunderous bolts. His twin kept his words close.
Legends say that the Exos removed their own heads to escape, and their bodies transformed into headless ones.
Tell me, would you be so forgiving if Crow carried more of Aldrin with him? Would you still accept him?
A new summoning circle.
Unable to bear the loneliness, Agar finally took to the sky. High above, the open air cradled him like star-cloth ribbonets.
There's also reports of guardians disappearing in the area.
When the awoken people came into being after the collapse, I was the first. As first, my chosen form defined what an awoken could be.
After that, explorers started reporting encounters with strange headless monsters. Don't let them escape! After the anomaly was discovered, miners began reporting strange creatures roaming the area. If those aren't long-dead miners reanimated by paracalls of magic into pumpkin-headed monsters, I don't know what are. When the Exos arrived, the Vex hacked their minds and drove them to madness. I don't know if these are the same Fallen that killed those old Guardians, but they're plenty mean. That's the end of the Headless Ones. I hope. But something tells me they'll be back.
Guardian, what's your status?
In fact, my calculations indicate a 99.22% probability that we will never encounter the hive here again.
Had he the scepter, he could have fought. Instead, he listened, straining through the thunder for the faint, secondary beat of Riga's twin heart.
Let's hope you have the same luck against the Vexed Mine haunting this sector.
I failed to shape Uldren in accordance with my goals, but if I were to take all that he was and reveal that past to him now...
The time one brave ghost single-handedly defeated a Vexed Mine and a legion of headless ones.
Osana would hide there forever rather than face the enemy. When we left to form the reef, many chose to hide with her.
The summoning circle expired, and that the Guardians had ghosts, just like me.
Oh, you're chasing the pumpkins again.
We need to take out the fallen leader before we can put our research to use, but something tells me there's more to the Headless Ones than just hive sorcery. Let this mission be a reminder, Guardian. Legends say that the Headless Ones were created by the K1 anomaly.
I understand pilfering ruins suits you more than researching them, Hunter. Listen and learn.
Yeah, they've got really good loot, but having seen the hive magic at work here, I'm not so sure anymore. I know you can't resist a fresh summoning circle. Thanks for letting me tag along, Guardian. I'm collecting spooky legends, and this is exactly the type of field research I need. A ritual circle.
Fret not, you don't have to collect them. I will have the pieces consolidated and reformed.
No, it can't be. It's the Headless Ones, and they're angry.
I understand awoken history is not your strong suit, Titan. I will teach you.
If you ask me, the dark magic that created the Headless Ones came from the hive, but we're never truly lost, as long as we have each other. I appreciate your company on this lore-finding mission, Guardian. The more data we collect, the better. Be on guard against any thoughts that seem vexing. Great work, Guardian. Our victory over the hive will stop the spread of their magic. For now, it's the Headless Ones. All the old stories are true.
Agar struggled against his mother's wing, yearning to leap from the tallest branch and soar to see the storms for himself.
Stand in the summoning circle. Maybe something friendly will come out. The other ghosts say that if the Headless Ones capture me, they'll force me to resurrect them. The Exos were killed, and their bodies transformed into Headless Ones.
The Atlas skews you've collected serve as star charts of sorts, used to map and navigate ley lines back when they could be freely explored.
That was close. I thought the other ghosts were pulling my shelf laps with their stories, but now I'm not so sure. During the Festival of the Lost, sometimes the answer is more mysterious than the mystery. The Vex mine that supposedly conquered the Exos is probably still here somewhere. Happy Festival of the Lost, Guardian.
All right. You two have fun.
Rumor has it that long ago, a fire team was captured here and beheaded by the Fallen.
This is the gatehouse. It leads to many places. The vault where I stowed the scepter is one of those places.
New circle is available.
There is a bypass. It is code, kept secret, in that it has been scattered across dozens of terminals throughout the Awoken territory.
Hey, Ikora. We're stalking malignant entities of unknown origin called the Headless Ones. I heard about this place from the other ghosts. They told me I should investigate it for my research. If Crow ever lost me, he'd probably do the same thing. Be careful, Guardian. There's a strong Fallen presence in this sector. There must be some very powerful hive around here somewhere. Let's hunt them down, Guardian. But be careful, Guardian. Any Fallen allied with the Headless Ones must be tough. I've never slept before. Is it really so good that you turn homicidal without it? Stand in the circle. With a little help from his Guardian sidekick, of course. That's the power of legends. They live on inside us, and in spooky haunted laboratories.
If it is still unclear, the twin kestrels represent Uldren and myself. Their mother is Osana Sav.
I'm glad we got you Guardians to protect us. Without your ghost, you'd be long dead and forgotten. Or worse, an evil pumpkin-headed monster. Some legends say that when the moon miners discovered the anomaly, they disturbed its evil slumber. Some legends say that the Headless Ones were guardians, just like you. Legends say that the Headless Ones are endlessly searching for their lost ghosts.
Guardian, I hear you're taking some time off to recharge.
The ritual didn't work, or did it? Nope, it didn't. Chase after them! Thanks for saving me from certain doom, Guardian.
He felt peace in the deafening rush of wind across his feathers. Once he found them a new home, Riga would love him as he loved her.
The Headless Monsters are real!
Zavala, giant drills. Apparently Cabal research equals giant drills. Zavala!
Since I've been with Crow, I've learned to give the Elixni the benefit of the doubt.
The Cabal took the tower. Let's take their rides.
Through Zivu Arath, it would grant an omnipresence within the reef even I could not subdue.
Hey, wait, we're not Cabal. I don't think anyone would miss these if we used them.
A full battalion? What is that to you, who have slain gods in the heart of the Black Garden?
The shooting never stops.
There's a lever? Is that the holdup? Why don't you pull it?
Ager's scepter carves pathways toward one's goals. The compass you carry is based off the same principles as this weapon.
But as he approached the forest's edge, night fell and thunder shook his heart. Ager saw a great storm building on the horizon.
Friendly suggestion.
Oh, look, it's a Vex milk waterfall. Can we stop and... Aw.
Maybe you can ask them what happened to the Exos before you destroy them.
Thousands followed my example, willing themselves into existence within the distributary.
As if my life wasn't hard enough already.
About that lever. Zavala, modular mine neutralized.
Friendly query. What have you done to attract such hostile species to my planet?
It's the headless ones!
I suppose we'll never get to that drill.
Aldrin had been searching for Ager's scepter for some time when he made these.
Legends say they were driven mad by a Vex mind and removed their own heads to escape it.
The twin kestrels darted through the gaps between branches. The leaves formed verdant pathways. Predictably, Riga first, with Ager close behind.
Quiet, you. What could the Red Legion possibly be drilling for? And, of course, the drills have armed crews.
They're filled with loot!
Kate scouts have made a distressing report.
I guess we live here now.
Welcome to Nessus. This planet is crawling with Vex. The Red Legion has sent in crews. We need to know why. Failsafe, are you online?
Switch off!
Just so you know, I have detected a massive Vex energy signature.
Good work, Guardian. The sector is clear, but given how many times this group has tried to kill us, I think it's safe to consider them hostile. Fallen.
Technically, the captain did. You live in his backpack.
We did it. We did a great job. Admit it.
I know you are awoken, cousin, but not of the reef. This may not be known to you.
It turned them against each other, and now their headless bodies roam around, doing the strange artifact's bidding.
Rest easy, Failsafe. The Guardian has this.
Let's take out their leadership, so another fire team doesn't pay the price.
And he would have died before his time. Aldrin's fall was a predetermined point. We both saw calamity looming, Osana and I. In the distributary, where the Awoken were born, we were eternal.
These must be the headless ones. In very clever disguises.
Riga never spoke a word. She already knew all their names and didn't want to crush his spirit. How charitable.
Welcome to Nessus. This planet is crawling with Vex. The Red Legion has sent in crews. We need to know why. Failsafe, are you online?
The magic that powers these summoning circles probably comes from a mighty hive boss.
Commander, your favorite AI is primed and ready. I have prepared backdoors into several key Vex systems. We have detected a series of seismic disruptions. The Cabal may be responsible.
We better keep researching, just in case.
Deliver it safely to me. While it may never be Aldrin's, it may yet serve to guide what he has become. Would he be my brother? Or is it only his echoes that remain? I see many of those same beginnings leading now to different ends.
You are both depressing and unhelpful.
When the Exos got here, the Vex were waiting. They twisted the Exos' minds, driving them mad.
Oh, free transportation.
I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't want to find out.
According to radio chatter, they want to build more guns.
She locked herself away to study. The separation pained Agur, like you know it does. Agur flew far and wide at Riga's behest, always thinking of her test, and returned home with tales of all that he had seen.
If you'd like my insight, I filed an after-action report complete with 433 tactical notes. I win!
Drop them first, Cap.
Hey, failsafe.
In another life, I'd have appointed Aldrin Dominion of the Reef's borderlands.
She pointed starward and whispered warnings of dangerous storms and cosmic sojourners that carved chaos in the sky.
There must be a button we can push, right?
If the Fallen captured me, who would sing Crow to sleep? If the Vex really drove the Exos mad, then your incursions into the Vex network are even more impressive.
I hope this is safe. The Cabal don't need to stick the landing. We do.
Stand in the summoning circle.
Vex records indicate the Cabal discovered the mind and dug into this world to capture it. Had the Red Legion achieved their goal, I estimate a 60% chance this planetoid would have been destroyed in the ensuing battles. Luckily, the captain stepped in.
They have bigger problems. Namely, you, Guardian.
Hey, failsafe, you're all cozy in your data core. Any advice on an energy shield? And, of course, the drills have armed crews. According to the data, it's a Red Legion research team. Research? All I can picture is bigger explosions.
Calculating Red Legion's similarity to the Cade 6, 0.0001%.
He pointed to the starry spaces between them and asked his sister to name them.
Find them and take them down, Guardian, before we end up with pumpkin heads ourselves.
Hey, who wants to bet the Vex will tear us all apart trying to fix it?
And we're all murdered by a group of Fallen, just like the ones up ahead.
What could the Red Legion possibly be drilling for?
The Battle of Saturn against the Taken King. It was the shift from stability into dissonance.
Yes, friendly ghost?
The Red Legion has compromised this planet's crust. My scouts report multiple seismic events across the surface.
The beautiful depth of the dark spots caught his eye. His imagination was arrested by them.
That sounds like a job for us.
As well as stories of terrible headless monsters lurking in the shadows.
I think it's lined up, right? That thing won't activate itself. I'd do it, but this shell doesn't have arms. On your right, a waterfall of Vex milk. Yes, Vex milk.
It was a test of his will, right? His devotion. One he would not fail. For he was patient. So patient.
Let's hope this thing launches in the right direction, or it's going to be a short trip.
The Vex mind that haunts this facility must be around here somewhere. A new ritual circle is active. I wonder what it summons.
You know, Cade got stuck stealing from the Vex. Why didn't that happen to the Red Legion?
Boy, this will make a great story in my collection of legends and tall tales.
I don't even know why I called.
Well done. Failsafe, what's your assessment of this incident? Vex weapons would have been a nightmare in Red Legion's hands. You won us an entire theater of this war. I would say you deserve a rest, but we need you elsewhere. Something tells me that suits you just fine.
Huh. Even their scientists are bullies.
A friendly note. The Red Legion appear to have torn apart the planet's surface. I believe the nearby Vex constructs maintain that barrier.
Golden Age computer core, and that's all she came up with? I could have said that.
Preparation wins any fight, Ghost. Should they deploy the drills on Earth, we'll need your expertise.
Look at those drills. Even the Vex can't stop a Cabal invasion.
Riga worried their song had attracted the storm's attention, and made plans for the flock to leave the hollow.
Guardian, the approach is up to you.
Good hunting.
Oh, a barrier. This planet loves barriers. Zavala, I think they're trying to contain the Red Legion.
Some legends say that the Exos lost in the sector were sent by Rasputin on a secret mission.
We need to know what we're dealing with. Yours are the boots on the ground, Guardian. Good luck.
And the only way to reach it is down past those giant, pointy drill bits? Good. Do the Vex want this drill? If I were them, I'd want it gone. It's switching guns. I think they want their drill back.
Commander, your favorite AI is ready to go. I'm tapped into the Vex network. According to their data, the Cabal have set off a series of quakes at the Nessus core. Commander, your favorite AI is ready to go. I'm tapped into the Vex network. According to their data, the Cabal have set off a series of quakes at the Nessus core.
Plus, you know, Cade's dumb.
Welcome to Nessus. This planet is crawling with Vex. The Red Legion has sent in crews. We need to know why. Failsafe, are you online?
Probably with new, very attractive heads. Maybe we finally found the Exos who disappeared all those centuries ago.
That did it. Modular mind is down. There's gotta be a control somewhere.
So I hid the scepter away, and gave him something safe to chase. He often strayed from that path.
It's not getting up from that. Zavala, we're good.
Survival is a temporary condition. For all of us.
Hey, Petra. Not really. We're battling the Headless Ones on the moon. As it turns out, their pumpkins are filled with loot.
Friendly query, what have you done to attract such hostile species to my planet?
Happy Festival of the Lost, Petra. Eva says they turned on each other, and something transformed their bodies into Headless Ones.
So, Cabal scientists can take a punch, but they're not very smart. I guess they cracked open the planet and that mind came crawling out?
We cannot allow them any advantage. This war has gone on too long.
Crow, I didn't receive your latest report.
In essence, creating a barrier that Xivu Arath's forces will crash against like a violent tide.
As always, not the answer I was expecting, but an intriguing one nevertheless. We'll talk more later. She meant to strand you and bleed you out. Not while I'm here.
Not as such. Our manipulations of the light and dark are different than what you Guardians do, or what House Salvation did, and she succeeded, after a fashion. Rest. Your queen has heard your call.
It isn't failure I'm worried about, but success. If Crow and the Guardian hadn't stopped Xivu Arath's High Celebrant,
we are closer to House Salvation's manipulation of paracausal forces through technology, though we have lost so much in such a small amount of time. Oryx's arrival those few years ago undid a great deal of work.
It's the backstage of the universe, Crow, sculpted by willpower and imagination. What do they teach you in the city?
On top of getting the runaround from middle management.
These wells once served as springs of ascendant energy, used by our Techians to sculpt structures such as this. Take a moment to reorient yourself, Guardian. This cache is placed on a set navigation point, a landmark in the plain. This is a Corsair wayfinding cache. Information on their search for me through the ruins of this place.
We'd be facing an unrelenting army of Wrathborn. Without Savathun's assistance, we may have failed here.
I don't know. Maybe. I want to. I don't suppose you've tried beating his location out of her.
I am presenting you with this responsibility, Guardian.
No cause for celebration yet. There's more work to be done.
Now they are barren parodies of their once noble purpose. One day, perhaps, they will shine again.
Another victory. It's refreshing to see what we can accomplish when Guardians and Awoken cooperate.
Still, any measure of progress is to be appreciated, is it not, my wrath?
The pieces of the moon drifting in this realm. They all seem to be footholds for Xivu Arath's forces.
Moving through these realms can be misleading. You desire something so badly that it changes. You hear it calling to you.
I'd hate to play into the stereotype. I think I'll stick around.
I'm detecting beacon alignment. But there are enemies closing on your position.
The far-off reaches of where? How did Zivo find you? Do you not have more witches?
Could your Techians shed any light on the nature of the collapse? Assist the Vanguard in combating the Black Fleet?
I've never seen the Taken, Scorn, and Hive coordinate like this before. It's troubling. I'm pleased to report we've made more progress, my queen.
There's something else out there, Guardian. An enemy yet to reveal itself.
Yes, it is how I understand things. And I am owed answers.
I've spoken with some of the previous Techians you've recovered. The interviews have been enlightening.
She is nothing but lies. She will only hurt you, and she will not feel regret about it.
Beacon aligned. They'll have felt that. Be ready.
It's like this place is haunting me.
Or you're haunting it. The Ascendant Plane is as much what you bring to it as it is what you see.
The Hive infest the Ascendant Plane like termites in rotting wood, spreading out from the borders of their progenitors' throne worlds. This mausoleum is a memorial to a Techian, Mallory, the first wayfinder to traverse this ley line.
Is there something specific you're looking for?
Journey forth, Guardian, and be bold.
What did you call me?
And as one who has stared down the Black Fleet personally, all I can teach is humility. Remove these vermin. I am uncertain such a ritual could have succeeded. Zivo Arath must be desperate to stop Savathun. How unfortunate for her. Not one you're searching for. She was much older. One of those who first forded the lines. A cartographer who gave her life to the void.
That's the last beacon. Zivo Arath's forces are converging on the area.
I see. Places share memories, have relationships. Just like us, they have seen so much.
And what long-term effects will that have on the Ascendant Plane? That damage? As I'm looking at these charts of the ley lines, I'm seeing considerable overlap with once secret Awoken outposts.
We spent ages keeping these lines clear. Then Zivo Arath gets involved, and suddenly we have waves of Hive breaking down our doors.
You ask too many questions. House Salvation is in ruins. You saw to that. As for the Cabal...
Were you hoping if you hurled enough bodies at the Ascendant Plane, maybe your troubles would go away?
It bears my name. She was trying to reach me through the power of her will. She entered this plane and summoned me.
Excellent work, Guardian. We couldn't have done it without you.
None. The Witch Queen stirs from time to time, but has remained silent. She can sense my ire. Oh, Ikora. No. Whatever the Awoken were before we fell into the rift between light and dark no longer exists.
Some of what I know came from Cyrus, and I'd rather be safe than sorry.
The Taken infest every corner of the Ascendant Plane I've seen, like the tendrils of some great fungus, ever spreading.
Yeah, I've had a lot going on out here.
Nothing that seems indicative of a pattern. They're continuing to throw themselves against the same dimensional faults.
And save Osiris, yes. You trust her?
Catastrophic vulnerability. Like a hole in your city's wall. Mockeries of life, sloughing off the skin of their former culture. If the Scorn are learning, changing, what are they becoming?
And not just the time the High Celebrant threw me in that pit.
They all speak of different, surreal experiences during their time trapped in the Ascendant Plane. Tread lightly, Guardian. This realm is still very much a mystery. We have no idea what else is out there.
I am not feigning ignorance. I am ignorant. I was dead for a very long time, you see.
Taken, Scorn, the Hive, our true enemies aligned to a spearhead to halt our rescues of the Techians.
Have there been any notable changes in the Dreaming City, my queen?
She is reveling in it. But I will let her have this small victory.
I recognize this place, even if it's changed. The data cache here has old combat logs of mine.
Each time you align a beacon, you repair the damage done to this realm. May it one day be returned to its former glory.
I don't like being told who will and won't hurt me by people I hardly know.
Based on this latest expedition, Zivo Arath's forces appear to have gathered their strength.
This cache marks a memorial, Long ago, a Techion fell here. Why are you so eager to hurt yourself?
But there is one commonality shared among them. Someone whispering to them in the dark.
And then I recognized some of their faces. My Corsairs. Friends who had already fallen in the battle. The curse loop was starting over.
Xivu Arath's assault on this operation is relentless. While we've been successful, I'm left with a lingering dread.
Possibly. Or more likely, an invasion yet to come.
That sounds dangerous. I wouldn't want to feed one hive god to another.
Align the beacons, Guardian, and signal the way home. Have you detected any change in the Taken's activities?
Now we know what Xivu Arath was planning for her Wrathborn armies. She intends to conquer the Ascendant Plane.
No one lets me get close enough to do so, but I will keep trying.
Yes, our trade secrets revealed. The ley lines were a means by which we expanded our empire without notice of our enemies.
We'll do whatever we can to shore up the Awoken's defenses. You have my word. Petra, how many of your Techians are stranded in the Ascendant Plane?
The Hive sought to create a breachway between this realm and Xivu Arath's throne world. She ventured into the unknown, and we knew the safe path only by how long her light lasted before it gave out.
And hopefully break. We heard voices. A sea of awoken reinforcements surged at our backs. They came from a split in the plains. I thought we were saved.
To my knowledge, the downfall of the Dreaming City is not the doing of Guardians.
I'm noticing dimensional distortions in your ghost's readings. A beacon should be nearby.
Whatever we experienced of the collapse is an ephemeral dream, not driven by fact or logic, but seared in our hearts. When the Hive first invaded this realm, we imprisoned their undying emissary beneath this tower. Now you will do what we could not. They were my escorts, ferrying me home from the far-off reaches. Xivu Arath found us in transit.
Why are we working with Savathun? Is it the trick where we lie and kill her instead?
I am not worried about Empress Keitel. She and I will see eye to eye one day. But Callus...
The Corsairs and Techians had it under control. Even while facing an endless curse from a wish dragon, it never got this bad.
These ley lines look strange. I've been consulting our records, and these do not match their given descriptions.
Your trespass beyond the veil brings you closer to victory. Both mine and yours. There are greater things in the dark than hive gods, Ikora.
There's something about this place that's just... I can't shake the feeling of dread. Like something out of a bad dream.
These Scorn appeared to be in the early stages of developing some form of trial by combat. I'm reminded of your Crucible, Guardian, but it was her insatiable curiosity that took her life when she ventured into the Black Garden against my wishes, and never returned.
I see no delicate silken ribbons of light weaving between the cosmic geometry.
The data in this cache is corrupted. The Hive tried to gain access by force.
How did these tech witches come to be lost in the Ascendant Plane?
Ley lines. Why is this the first I've heard of them? Savathun never mentioned them.
It's over. The beacons have aligned and the rift is open. Bring our Techian home. Last beacon aligned. Be ready for anything.
I see. Keep me apprised of any notable changes.
Our successes here are mounting, Ikora. We may not need as many hands as you've sent. The beacon is aligned. Get ready for an attack.
Now his sister awaits me, lingering in her crystal coffin. A move against her will not succeed if guided by force alone. Xivu Arath's title as the Hive God of War is no mere gilding. She earned it. She is a strategist and tactician. Go. Find our lost Techians and bring them home.
Or what? You'll leave me for dead here too?
Then you understand that if he does not return, you answer to me.
Did it trouble you to let your brother fall into corruption when you could have intervened?
Friendly suggestion.
A Hive ritual. See that it is undone, Guardian.
The Guardian and I could have done this ourselves.
The Taken presence here is overwhelming. With Quria defeated, I assumed Savathun would have lost control of them.
But it is only a rippling mirage. Your desires twisting the energies of the plane. Whispers from the voice in the darkness. This data cache was left by one of my Techians after the Battle of Saturn. The Black Fleet's powers are vast. Oryx did not invent the Taken. He merely borrowed them.
Which is why we establish guides, lanterns, beacons.
Another victory. It's nice to know I can be trusted to fight the Awoken's battles, but not make decisions for myself.
Your guardians have been most tactical, Ikora. I would not fear. We'll succeed.
The dark intellect of the Scorn is a cruel reflection of their former lives as Elixni. Guardians found a cracked pane of glass and decided to crash through it.
It's done. The beacons are in alignment, and Xivu Arath's forces are in retreat. Let's bring our lost sister home.
Are you asking me to recall the Crow back to the city?
So I've seen.
I led the same friends to their deaths again and again.
What horrors have my Techians endured in their wayward state. I pray they return to me as they once were.
Let's keep moving.
Every tech witch we rescue gets us one step closer to finding Osiris.
I agree. Callus is a problem. We should discuss what the Vanguard found aboard the Glycon. In private. He's free to make his own choices, Queen Mara.
You're welcome to go off on your own whenever you like, Crow.
We Awoken understand many forgotten cosmic truths. The existence of ley lines is but one.
By your actions, you are making stable routes through the plane and reinforcing it against change and intrusion. Something like that.
He needs to be here, with me. If you can encourage him to return, a hive fortress turned prison now opens its gates to you.
Mara, your people are among the oldest in the system. You're survivors of the collapse.
Perhaps we find Osiris before Savathun's plan hatches. Then we let Xivu Arath tear her to pieces.
At the beginning of the Dreaming City's curse loop, we held out until the end, but we were down to our blades against the Taken.
Mara, have your Techians ever utilized a power like stasis?
You have persevered in realms where others have failed time and again. I will not allow Xivu Arath to defile her sacrifice.
Not even when we were hunting Xivu Arath's High Celebrant through the Ascendant Plane.
Could these routes be repurposed? Move other forces or ships? Like how the Hive navigate their tomb ships.
It took all our powers to call forth weapons of such impossible destruction, all for naught.
I know. Just remember, you don't have to bear that burden alone.
These ribbons are frayed. They have been open for too long. Destabilized. They may never fully recover. Savathun knows of them too. But you expected the Witch Queen to tell you the truth. Don't be so naive, my darling.
Geppetto tells me these are, nodes, and that they are connected.
Taken infestations, spreading like a cancer through the ley lines. These need to be cleared. Once more, we part the curtain of reality, and you step beyond. The paracausal can influence this place with thought, tie two ends of our world together with their willpower. Her sister may be known for her cunning, but there is more at work here than a sword's edge.
Oh, I'll do more than that.
That sort of attitude might fly out in the reef, but you will take your responsibilities as a guardian seriously.
I very much appreciate the way you think. Speak with me in private. So, the Scorn staged some sort of ritual combat. This is not of Elixni culture. Are they developing their own?
Be mindful when navigating for the beacons, Guardian, lest you wind up lost as well.
I can feel the radiance of the beacons permeating through the Ascendant Plane.
The final beacon is aligned. I'm detecting severe paracausal emanations in your vicinity. Get ready.
Tell me, Ikora, did it trouble you when your traveler chose Aldrin to become a guardian? This cache contains planar telemetry about an attempted breach of the Ascendant Plane from somewhere else.
Beacon ahead. Be cautious.
This place is a maze.
Well done. We've detected the Lost Techian's location through the beacon network. Bring her home.
A whole reality, sculpted by strength of will. And all we've seen are the thinnest edges of the ascendant plane.
This cache holds record of the Harbingers, ancient weapons we set to bear against the hive god Oryx.
You've aligned the beacon. Clear out that opposition so it can do its job. She knows we can't stop her. She can flood the plains with endless troops, and there's nothing we can do but hold out as long as we can. This cache is mostly corrupted. Might have been pathfinding data. Xivu Arath's scouts have been this way. They probably tampered with it.
It appears these decaying vermin have discovered a means to refine ascendant energy. Behind the curtain of the universe lies the ascendant plane. Here, causality meets consciousness, and worlds are born.
Yes, by ley lines. They're like primordial currents you can navigate between worlds.
Scorn. Harvesting ascendant energy with such simple, brute force. They must be stopped.
You're making good progress. I believe that's another beacon ahead. The Awoken have been bleeding for a long time, Ikora. Why do you think I opened the shore to you?
Something ruptured this space with the power of its desire alone.
You know this isn't a secure channel, right?
A queen would not be humbled. I will add their sacrifice to the weight I already bear. Fear not, Saint. Everything is as it should be. Do your part, and I will do mine.
I'm not. I just want to talk to Savathun. I have questions. I deserve answers.
You can trust in those visions only as much as you can trust in yourself. I sense other wizards, somewhere beyond the portals, maintaining this ritual. They must be stopped. When we attacked Oryx's dreadnought, 3 Techians and I set the Harbingers upon him. The source of this corruption is at hand. Find it, and destroy it.
No mention of House Salvation or the Cabal?
The Hive forced their way into this dimension like brutish thieves, sculpting the plane with crass disregard for its elegance. Mallory was brilliant, like a star burning in the blackness of space, a beacon for others, aspirational.
Whatever they were searching for, they found the Vex instead.
Or are your unknowable agendas somehow exempt from criticism?
I do. Sorry. I have a lot on my mind.
This is a world divided. With the Techians, we can begin to stabilize it.
I wonder if the Scorn's presence here has anything to do with Callus's horrific experiments aboard the Glycon.
I don't know. The Awoken out here seem to be good at doing 2 things. Losing and hiding.
Indeed, the Hive God of War has been aggressively sweeping up territory and crashing it into the borders of our own domain.
These beacons also help stabilize the Ascendant Plane, keeping it from shifting and changing.
Who could have guessed?
To end the Hive, you must end them at their source, for without the Worm Gods, they are as fragile as glass.
Good. He won't wait long. So that's another rescued Techian. Exactly how many of them did you just fling in here? Awkward question, given the timing. Can someone fact-check my knowledge about the Ascendant Plane?
Analyzing radio chatter. Commander, I believe the Legion is responsible. Perhaps they are conducting some sort of research?
She knew. She was 10 steps ahead of us the whole time, doing whatever it took to reach this moment.
Yes, but it is entertaining to picture.
There is a malevolent force at work in this plane, Guardian. I can feel it slithering like black water over stones.
I knew her forces were crawling through the plains, but if they're bold enough to leave stuff like this behind, it's like they're mocking us.
As if my life wasn't hard enough already.
The telemetry you're sending from the compass looks good. There should be a beacon nearby. Watch your tone, Crow.
But I see little difference between their stasis channeling technology and your ghosts, outside of levels of sophistication.
Because sometimes you have to take risks to do what's important, like stopping Xivu Arath.
But they seem just as organized, just as directed. By whose hand? Guardian, hidden reports indicate a strong Hive presence in your sector.
But the only revelation waiting for them was the Vex. Rumors say that the Exos who went missing here were spurred on by dreams of a machine tower, calling to them.
Zivor Roth saw to that.
Mostly point, shoot, and jump.
A summoning circle timed out, and now the Guardians' headless bodies roam around, trying to snatch up new ghosts, like me.
The Guardian is reporting in that we've made more progress in the Ascendant Plane.
This shrine is defiled by their presence. See that the orb they stole is returned to the mausoleum beneath the cathedral. Then I hope you'll soon become accustomed to mystery.
We're totally safe now. Totally, completely safe.
But to have reverse-engineered a process to refine ascendant energy, they could not have done this on their own. Yes, Osiris spoke of you frequently during our visits. Now that I've returned to the scattered pieces, you feign ignorance to how they got there. Not entirely unlike a hive war moon, hollowed out and thrust into a conflict.
I sent 13 to bring Queen Mara back to us. Others left to rescue those that never returned. It's doubtful they all survived.
Maybe you should take a quick nap after this. Those poor miners couldn't sleep, and they suffered from terrible hallucinations.
To imagine my Corsairs looked for me, even here, that they gave their lives while searching through these crooked plains.
Each time you ignite the beacons, you're doing more than just lighting waypoints.
A staging ground for this invasion?
I may tell you her name someday. She was a friend. And now she is part of the stream.
Better take out their leader before we leave.
He was bonded to me, and his devotion spiraled into pathetic recklessness.
Like, are you sure you can handle it?
Agreed. Be careful, Guardian. There's no one out there to back you up.
A friendly warning. I am detecting seismic events all along the planet's crust. I believe the Red Legion is to blame. If it's helpful, I suggest you deal with the drills when the shooting stops.
As Zavala Kel says, stronger together.
Drop them first, Cap.
Well, I could have... Okay, we'll shoot them. Zavala, looks like the drills are manned by a full battalion of Cabal.
Ceding control of the ley lines would cut us off from Queen Mara's throne world.
Zivor Roth claws at the fabric of this reality, forcing her way through. Protect the compass. Energy readings have stabilized.
As soon as we get access to those batteries, start hauling. Take turns if you have to.
From what I saw, the Guardian did all the work. Hold off the hostiles until we gain access to the batteries. Once they appear, you'll have to install them manually.
I sense Taken rifts condensing. Zivor Roth's army will be here soon. Keep the compass safe, Guardian.
Once the servitors release the ether, destroy it before it reaches the harvesters.
But this will not be their last trespass. We must remain vigilant. It is as though the space between the stars has been waiting. Watching. Until we reveal the true voice behind the darkness, none of us can be secure. Once my coven is reassembled, we'll exorcise Savathun's worm and put an end to her lies. Once and for all.
I've had no choice. For years, the Dreaming City rested on my shoulders. And they'll start with the Blind Well. We have to close down any taken rifts. Getting those batteries up the hill will take teamwork. Don't be afraid to hand them off. Once their leadership arrives, put them down and bank their taken essence.
Clint, enough.
Without her worm, she'll be powerless.
The batteries are too heavy to carry while fighting. Stay close to the carriers and watch their backs.
If the Taken can use the Ascendant Plane to attack the Blind Well, why not just seal it off once and for all?
There's no need to decide now. Think it over.
Said it was because of how I spoke and moved. I didn't really know what that meant until I met you.
We'll be ready when it does. That's the job, Crow. Most of the Vanguard leadership has been at it for centuries.
Xivu Arath is sending her strongest lieutenants to secure the Blind Well.
Remember, Crow?
That you did, my queen. That you certainly did.
When I give the order, you and your paladins will remove the spider and all of his loyalists from the reef. Permanently.
Does this ever end? Do Guardians really spend all their time going from one fight to the next?
Physical destruction alone will not deter the Taken. Their essences must be secured. The Taken are fleeing, I feel the tears in this reality slowly beginning to mend.
Is Xivu Arath trying to rescue Savathun?
The spider, the scorn, and now Savathun. You're an atrocious judge of character.
I can barely feel them. My Techians, lost between realms.
It's true. And we know that if Xivu Arath has her way, Earth and the Reef will be next.
Have I mentioned that I appreciate you as well?
There's the Mara I know. Nails still black from brewing Queen's foil. Xivu Arath's consolidation of high forces is almost complete. Even those on Luna now fall under her command.
Once the ether is released, destroy it before it gets to the Harvester.
Makes sense. I don't plan on doing either of those things, so I should be fine.
I'm sure it was. And Mara has entrusted me to protect the Reef from exactly that kind of adventure. As long as we have Savathun, she won't stop coming.
Yes, but I do humbly request it nonetheless.
That may be harder than you think, Queen Mara.
Must be a bad signal. Good. We need all the help we can get.
Guardians leave their past behind by necessity, and by choice. We can only be one person at a time.
If that were true, he'd be here right now.
The coming storm will not be deterred by the knowledge of the Vanguard alone. Oh, what should you tell Zavala and his little cabal?
I am worried. Even if he eventually accepts who he was, I may never regain his trust. Well, I would say... horrible. He was horrible. He tortured Crow, demeaned him, treated him like a possession.
We need to replace the batteries that charge the Blind Well's energy regulators. But first, we need to secure the area.
Xivu Arath will never relent, as long as you possess her sister.
A word of advice. Don't wave back.
Once my circle of Techians is reassembled, we can strike back at the Black Fleet.
It's not like that.
As I told you before, now is not the time for this conversation.
He says he doesn't care. But I can tell he does. Thanks, Petra.
The spider is not here. They're naturally occurring paracausal forces that predate the Awoken.
That seems like a waste. Imagine how much intel she could provide. We're children trying to understand why the moon glows in the dark. We don't know what we don't know.
We can't let them poison the Blind Well. Defend it at all costs.
Can you speak like that with all of the Awoken? When the batteries become available, rally all forces and defend the carriers.
I know how to behave around people. You don't have to keep an eye on me if he isn't already dead. But you haven't even heard where... Petra?
Tell them I raised a dragon. That I danced down the hilt of Oryx's blade. That I am Queen of the Reef.
Well played, Guardian. I'm sure Crow wishes he could share in this victory.
Once we control those batteries, it may take more than one of us to get up the hill. I met an Awoken once who called me Reefborn. The batteries are key to stabilizing the Blind Well. Stay close to the carriers and don't stop shooting.
You've done it. I can feel relief rippling through the Techians.
Scans show that this sector is clear. Unfortunately, Xivu Arath's forces are already amassing elsewhere.
Taken rifts are destabilizing the area. We can't allow them to disrupt the ley lines. We'll hold the Blind Well together. As we open more ley lines, we can start exfiltrating our lost Techians.
I heard so many stories about the Scorn during my time with Spider, but never how they came to be.
Watch the Harvesters to time the ether release. Let's send these Scorn back empty-handed.
If things don't go as expected with the ritual, we should consider calling on Empress Keitel.
Xivu Arath must be terrified of what Savathun might say.
I hate to waste so much good ether, but anything to get the Scorn out of the area.
By stabilizing the ley lines, aren't we enabling Xivu Arath's forces?
And yet I have no better solution.
It's unclear whether they're coordinating with Xivu Arath's forces or just taking advantage of the chaos.
Make sure you keep your compass safe. Things are about to get loud.
Stains like that never come out. The strongest Taken yield their essences. Retrieve them to close the rifts.
We know Xivu Arath wasn't coordinating with Savathun. She was pursuing her.
Queen's Wrath, I have a directive for you.
Petra, I've noticed the Awoken don't have the same reverence for the light as humans. Why is that?
Believe me, you'll need more than the light to defeat what's coming.
seeing him replaced by that guileless fool.
Ah, that means now you mainly guard the Queen?
Hidden reports indicate reduced hive activity throughout the system.
It's a little hard to identify with magic people who arose from a paracausal black hole.
We are. But we also enable our rescue efforts. Nothing is won without risk. I am not surprised. When you're through there, we will discuss this.
For a long time, we thought that the blind well led to your throne world alone, Queen Mara.
The paracausal energy in the batteries will confer an aura of power for a time.
Now that we have a moment to pause, I would like to apologize for Crow's behavior. He should not have tried to gain access to Savathun.
There's Scorn inbound.
I doubt Xivu Arath knows what Queen Mara is planning, but she knows that every day it grows nearer. I think so. We can ask Osiris about it when we find him.
I just have hope. And that is, perhaps, the greatest terror of them all.
You sound like Lord Saladin.
The batteries are operational and paracausal energy readings are nominal. Good work, Guardian.
If we secure the Techians and remove Savathun's worm, will that end the curse on the Dreaming City?
You may be a smartass, but you might also have made an unintentionally good point.
The Queen in me always kept Aldrin at arm's length, even if the sister in me yearned to be closer.
I don't have a good side, and if I did, you wouldn't be on it. Once we have our Techians back, holding this area will be much easier.
I was more interested in how you're getting along with Mara and Petra. Aside from her unfortunate conversation with Crow, Savathun has been a model prisoner. Don't you find that odd?
Petra, I just realized where I recognize you from. Spider's place on the Tangled Shore.
Petra, I believe I asked you to stop making that joke. How things came to be is less important than accepting them for what they are.
The Scorn's continued presence here can't be all about the ether. There must be a larger strategy at play.
Oh, I just assumed... I'm sorry. Forgive me.
What's your point, Crow?
I am Queen of the Reef, and I always will be. Nothing is beyond me.
It means anyone who threatens Queen Mara or the Reef will have to deal with me. Good work shutting down the Scorn, Guardian. Unfortunately, this gate opens both ways. Xivu Arath, Hive God of War, is trying to secure it for an invasion of the Dreaming City so she can capture Savathun.
Nevertheless, it's troubling.
That's enough. I have all the confirmation I need. Petra, what's the bleed-through at the Guardian's location?
Let them know we're coming for them.
Are the ley lines natural phenomena, or something the Awoken created?
Have you discovered any evidence of coordination between the Scorn and Xivu Arath?
You know exactly what I mean. We shut down the taken rifts and the ley lines are stabilizing.
You can carry a lot of weight, Petra. I'm impressed.
And Crow has more to wrestle with than most. Don't worry.
If you're counting on getting the truth from the Hive God of Deceit, you're already lying to yourself.
Well done, Guardian. The Reef-born, thank you.
Xivu Arath's forces have regrouped. We can't let them take the blind well.
Ether gives life. Let its destruction bring death to the Scorn.
I heard that.
We've seen both Scorn and Taken in this area. That indicates at least a non-aggression pact, if not outright cooperation.
Holding Taken essence will feel strangely powerful. Bank as many as needed to end the assault.
We're so close to reclaiming our city. Soon I'll put everything back as it was.
Eliminating enemies is secondary to protecting our battery carriers. I hate to admit it, but I agree. She's up to something. She's been especially curious about you. The servitors will release the ether at regular intervals. Keep an eye on the harvester to anticipate it.
Wherever Crow is, I hope he knows there are people here who care about him.
No, I'll pretend you were. For your sake. The spider may claim to be the shore's only law, but there is one ruler of the reef. It's time we remind him of that fact.
It is not Xivu Arath. It is not simple hive madness.
That probably comes from your time with the Elixni. I think Spider still misses you. I'd suggest you not even think about it. Yes. It's as if she's reaching out to me, delicately, like an insect waving its antenna.
I do not doubt it, even for a second.
My queen asks, and I have no choice but to provide. Anything, my queen.
The Guardian's compass has guided us faithfully yet again.
I wasn't talking about Queen Mara.
And easier to invade.
He is as brave as he is frustrating.
After we install those batteries, drop everything and open fire.
Xivu Arath is determined to destroy Savathun, no matter how much it costs her.
Your compass was made in the distributary to guide those who departed.
Curious. Savathun orchestrates an attempted invasion of the last city by the Vex. Her plan fails?
We will all have our revenge on that day.
Agreed. He needs time to come to terms with Uldren's involvement in their creation.
The Witch Queen's importance stretches beyond the Hive's politics. There are greater forces at play.
That's what the regulators are for. Without them, the blind well would be dangerously unstable.
To us? Or to you? Bank the taken essences to close their rifts and stabilize the area. I am not Reefborn.
The Scorn and Taken are alternating assaults here.
The Scorn will try to harvest ether from these dead servitors. But then, something goes wrong. She has to flee to the Dreaming City, parleys with the Queen.
Grab your compass, Guardian. We've got Taken inbound.
You misunderstand. All ley lines, everywhere. Xivu Arath's forces filling the veins of reality, moving across the galaxy in a heartbeat. An infection of war.
Could be. He and I worked together when our desires aligned.
Their uncommon focus belies a greater will than we've seen before.
I've never seen a warlock pull out a golden gun either.
In theory, she could enter anywhere the lines pass through an ascendant realm.
Whoever I was felt at home here. But I'm not him anymore. The tower is my home now. It pains me to say it, but we need to target the ether coming from the servitors. It's better off destroyed than in the hands of the Scorn.
As strange as it sounds, we may have stumbled into a beneficial situation here.
As Xivu Arath consolidates power, we're likely to face more coordinated resistance. I understand. Every Guardian wrestles with their past in their own way.
Even this. Battling to free Savathun from her worm, I fear we starve one threat to feed another. You could stay, if you wanted. I could show you.
Well done. The Techians will be invaluable in the fight against the Black Fleet.
Hello?
And the Awoken have all of those in abundance.
Always.
Take down their leadership and secure as many Taken essences as you can.
The Techians study both light and darkness, right?
Are you sure you couldn't have searched for just a bit longer?
We've got incoming. Keep your compass safe until after the shooting stops.
Petra, what assistance has the Spider offered us in this endeavor?
What did he do to keep you coming back? Put a bomb in a friend of yours?
The Scorn never learn. They'd be well served to find their ether elsewhere.
No wonder Saladin is so jaded.
We've met success, my queen. We're one step closer to getting our lost Techians home.
Bleed through?
They will have suffered during their imprisonment. Will they be strong enough to complete the ritual?
She's not the only one. I sense the same fear from you.
It's growing. It's slow. But it's making progress every day. We have to keep fighting.
I see. We didn't find any when we searched Saint and Osiris's home in the city.
When we are finished with Savathun, you will prepare a detachment of paladins to depart for the Tangled Shore.
Besides, the Vanguard isn't always right.
She hopes that the Taken will destabilize the blind well enough for a full invasion. Fair warning. The batteries look small, but the amount of energy they contain is massive. They'll be heavier than expected.
Mithrax Kell would understand.
Welcome back to the blind well, Guardian. It enables transit between this reality and the Ascendant Plane, using paracausal ley lines.
These batteries are heavy, Petra. A little teamwork will go a long way.
The Scorn have regrouped. Protect your compass and prepare for battle. If anyone can intuit the means and ways of the Black Fleet, it will be them.
Oh, Glint. You're his new family. Family always comes around. Eventually.
If we are to survive the coming storm, the tower and the Dreaming City must stand united.
Could he have willed her image into being somehow?
We've got to prevent the Scorn from poisoning the ley lines. Destroy the ether before they can harvest it.
I assume these weren't in any official reports. What did she want?
Does it bother you in the slightest to kill Scorn, Crow?
That's a relief. And she's not going to get tricked or anything, right?
I liked you right away, so maybe you're right.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree.
The only entities that might know their true origin and makeup are the 9. But I don't think they're telling.
Oh, you little pest. Stay off my channel and keep your shell flaps sealed.
They know. They can hear my thoughts as if they were their own. They must.
I never knew something as small as those batteries could be so dense.
Secure those taken essences, Guardian. It's the only thing that will push them back.
I know your path has not been easy in my absence. Your dedication these years past has been exemplary.
And what do the Techians do exactly? I'm asking for a friend.
I know it's hard to destroy good ether when the House of Light goes hungry, but sacrifices must be made.
Hold off the Taken as best you can.
It makes me wonder why everyone sees Savathun as the bigger threat. Are we sure there's no way to save that ether? I know a lot of Elixni on the shore who could really use it.
Your compass's work is almost done. We need to defend the blind well for just a while longer.
Dead ghosts. A handful from Spider's personal collection.
She asked me where you go when you dissolve.
You've all lived through different hardships, but you might have more in common than you think. Oh no.
They're extremely heavy, so I suggest you work together.
With a prize as big as your paracausal batteries at stake, I'm surprised by their restraint.
Aren't they in the Ascended Realms around here already?
Secure your compass, Guardian. I sense a tide of dark ether rushing toward us.
But my queen, I would find it gauche to offer the selfsame gift time and again.
They're driven less by hunger and more by a knife at their backs.
The Guardian's presence here says otherwise.
That won't be necessary.
Taken forces gather at the edges of this reality. They are coming.
We'll have a window of opportunity after the servitors release their ether, but before it reaches the harvesters. That's when we strike.
Are you there, Petra? I have a request. We can manipulate the lines, influence them with our paracausal abilities.
Sometimes it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yes, but at least we're fighting on our terms. With Savathun as bait, Xivu Arath has come to us, on our field of choice. No. When he turned, he lost all focus. Rumor is he thought he was being guided by her toward the end.
Oh, we chased the High Celebrant through one of those once. Crow fell into an abyss. It was quite the adventure.
But beyond that, in the background, there is something else.
Quite well. We're getting the information we need, piece by piece.
We can't risk them poisoning the blind well with dark ether. Let's clear them out.
Thank you, Guardian. With your assistance, we may still be able to recover my remaining Techians. Working through a tactical analysis, Petra? We must not allow the Scorn to harvest this ether. Destroy it. Savathun can scheme all she wants. Her lies end at the point of my knife.
Feel sort of a kinship with her, do you? My Corsairs report increased Taken activity. Retrieve the compass and assume defensive positions.
The Elixni have a saying. The friendly knife is sharpest. Maybe that's true.
My anger is my own. And Uldren Sav is dead.
It has what some might call intuition.
Good work installing the batteries, Guardian. The regulators are functioning normally. What? Ah, yes. Yes. Just trying to understand what happened between the events on Earth and here. But sentiment has no place in this fight. Savathun understands that. I hope Mara does too.
If the blind well falls, our enemies could use it to gain access to all ley lines.
But unless she's planning to exist in multiple states at once, I can't imagine how that would help her.
Nope.
Because you seem like you could use a break? Maybe blow off a little steam?
The compass points unerringly to your goals, and clears obstacles from your path by the strength of your will.
Perhaps something about the hive prevents them from wielding stasis.
Your compass has led us this far, Guardian. Preserve it until the ritual, and nothing will stand against us.
Whatever happened, I think it's more complex than that.
For returning them to you, you mean?
Strategy is not the Scorn's greatest asset.
Mara. Queen Mara, are you there?
I've had my eye on you for longer than you know. Ikora out.
No. A smokescreen. Her plan succeeds. You can speak with Queen Mara any time you like.
I'm sorry, Ikora, but Crow would prefer to be alone right now.
It will take strength and teamwork to get this done, Guardian. Good luck.
Just like streams of water, ley lines can be polluted.
They're experts in paracausal forces and keepers of the distributary secrets.
And I thought Glint was heavy for his size.
He's also an outstanding guardian. His willingness to sacrifice himself to stop Xivu Arath, to save Zavala.
I would request your patience.
I know, Mara. All the same, it's a sentiment I want to state clearly on open comms channels, for anyone who might be monitoring them.
Xivu Arath's forces have infested this area. Their taken rifts are destabilizing the ley lines, making alignment impossible. The energy of the ley lines is too great for the blind well to handle all at once.
I won't make the same mistake twice.
Target the ether when it's released. The Scorn can't poison the ley lines without it.
Destroy as many Taken as you can. When one of their leaders drops Taken essence, bank it to limit their influence. None, my queen.
Hard to believe siblings could harbor that much hatred for each other.
To my point, identities may change, but the person behind them remains the same. I sense a Scorn closing in. Retrieve your compass and prepare for battle.
The Taken energy has dissipated. For now.
Shouldn't be too difficult. How heavy could they be? The Guardians succeeded. If they keep this up, Xivu Arath won't be able to use the blind well to do whatever it is it does. Maybe you just can't see it because your good side is also your blind side.
Our loved ones inspire us, but that inspiration takes many forms. Not all of them positive.
And they don't shy away from the truth, even if it comes from the darkness.
As the ley lines are held open, echoes of the Ascendant Plane slowly creep into our world.
Ikora, I wanted to offer you my heartfelt thanks for your composure in this trying time.
Hey, buddy, guess what? A certain very angry knife lady says you're an amazing marksman. Best she's ever seen.
All this conflict, all this death, repeated in an endless feeding cycle to a god of war. Yes.
We've seen Scorn and Taken in this area, but never at the same time. It makes me suspect a coordinated alliance.
The ley lines convey so much power. How can you handle it safely? This place has such a unique vibration. The air hums with energy.
Me? I prefer to use causal abilities. I see one of Xivu Arath's minions. I cause it to die. Nobody's more blind than you, Crow. Even I can see that.
Perhaps something here calls to you. Something deeper than identity. Deeper than memory.
Well, I had been searching for years for my guardian. Longer than most other ghosts. But the moment I found him, I knew he was the one.
Well, Mara says that the same is true of the darkness. But the only human who seems to understand that is Eris Morn.
Well done, Petra.
He and Kaido have questions about the security of Savathun's crystal prison. The Vanguard firmly believe that who you were before you become a guardian holds no bearing on your new life.
We should go. Regroup. The Techians aren't going to rescue themselves.
I'm not opposed to teamwork, if I trust my teammates.
I have copies in my library, if you like.
The Taken fight without fear, but their essences are their weakness. Bank them on sight. She'll redouble her efforts, I'm sure. And with Crow gone, we're more vulnerable than before. I once had a sister myself. She was a Techian, just like those we're rescuing.
If Xivu Arath were to control it, nothing would stop her army from flooding the city. It will discover our lost Techians when you will it.
And Xivu Arath's army gets closer to us.
The blind well is about to be attacked. Guard the compass and prepare to defend yourselves.
I imagine that the leader of the Hidden knows better than any of us. Xivu Arath will use them to poison the blind well if she can. Stay vigilant. The Traveler has a sense of irony, it would seem.
War is always a waste of good resources. Get used to it.
And now, on the other side of death, he returns as an obedient servant to another ruler.
The attacks against the blind well have become stronger lately. Of course, my queen.
That may not always be true, but it's most often the case.
The sooner you accept your limitations, the sooner we'll find strength together.
For your sake, It had better not be.
Well, that's open to interpretation, even among ghosts.
She was killed in the rays of amethyst. I still see her in my dreams and meditations.
Queen Mara, how is it you and the Techians can use the ley lines to travel?
The ley lines must be stabilized. Install the batteries to end this invasion.
Personally, I think we decompile into a quantum superposition, like ascension frequency.
No amount of vengeance can bring back the dead.
The servitors can't be damaged, but the ether they release can. Destroy it, and the Scorn. I'm not sure the Vanguard would... I don't know.
Crow, how does it feel to be working with other Awoken?
After the destruction of her homeworld, she has more cause to fight Zivor Arath than anyone.
Glint, I trust Mara to keep her monster caged. And I hope you'll do the same. With the new ley lines open, the Scorn's dark ether will spread even more quickly. Take your compass back, but be prepared for some retaliation.
I wonder why.
Petra, is Queen Mara's magic powerful enough to keep us safe from Savathun?
We can't allow them to establish a beachhead for the hive. We need to reinstall the batteries for the Blindwell's regulators. The Scorn are here for the ether. Destroy it when it's released and the Scorn will break. If we lose the regulators, there's no telling how the Blindwell will react, or how Xivu Arath will take advantage.
The Taken are mounting another attack. Push them back before they get entrenched, Guardian. My readings show that all hostile forces have retreated, and the Blindwell is safe.
But I fear the hardest part is yet to come. The Black Fleet will push us all to the limit before the end.
Then I will defend the Blindwell with all I have.
They're dense with paracausal energy, so it'll take teamwork to get them installed.
Between our light and your mystical knowledge, we're pretty unbreakable. Right, cousin? The Scorn are broken, and all that ether is lost.
Glint, if you had to describe the way the spider treated Crow in a single word, what word would that be?
They study paracausal forces in whatever form they manifest. That should close the rifts and secure the area.
We've got Scorn inbound, Guardian. Better keep your compass safe.
I expect the full weight of her force to land on the day of the ritual.
The bond between siblings surpasses any form of logic.
I've been to the Dreaming City before, but I don't know if I've ever really taken time to appreciate it until now.
I see my brother's boyish antics in his every move. He is a familiar pain.
Ikora, I've been thinking about some things Osiris... Savathun asked me to do.
That doesn't sound good.
The compass operates beyond a level of causality, perhaps even beyond the bounds of time.
But until we reassemble Queen Mara's coven, we're just plugging leaks.
Feels good to be back in the fight. I've been on the sidelines for too long.
The Taken threaten not just territory, but the very fabric of our reality.
Every time I come to the Dreaming City, it feels like I never left.
You did well, Guardian. But I admit that Crow's expertise is missed. He's still a great shot. What happens to Savathun is not your concern. I want to be there when you draw that worm screaming from Savathun's carcass.
They were only stories. It passed the time. What does she want with Savathun?
The paracausal forces that converge here are mighty. They will increase as you open more ley lines.
Can't argue with that. I just wondered if you feel more comfortable around your people.
And losing Eleusinia would end all hope of one day lifting the curse on the Dreaming City.
Most humans think the world only works one way, that light is good and darkness is evil.
Carrying those batteries felt... empowering. I saw the same thing with the cryptoliths on the shore. So many minds ruined by her need to dominate.
Instead, he tried to goad your affection through insubordination.
The timing of their mission is suspicious. Is this coordination with Xivu Arath, or mere coincidence?
Good work, Guardian. Paracausal energy readings are back to nominal levels.
Mara, Zavala has asked I raise his concerns. We need to keep a close eye on them.
Savathun knows the truth about the Black Fleet. Why shouldn't we learn from her, even if she's a creature of darkness?
You wrote them down like in a book. I always kept the pages on you so Spider wouldn't find them.
Another successful mission, my queen. Your coven is almost reassembled.
You're quite the fighter, Petra. I'll be sure to stay on your good side. This would go faster if you give me an audience with her. She trusts me. She's smart. We could strategize
We've got Taken incoming. Secure your compass before they arrive.
You have a gift for understatement.
Petra and Mara certainly are different than Zavala. They're a touch... prickly.
My brother was a storyteller too. He spun the most fabulous fables for our people's children.
Keep watch on the harvesters. They'll indicate when the servitors are going to release their ether. Once the ether is exposed, destroy it.
The batteries grant an aura of power. Stay close to them for maximum effect. The Taken are massing for another attack. They just can't take a hint.
Her obsession is beyond sword logic. This seems personal.
Thank you for all your aid. So, Crow, I heard you disobeyed a direct order from the Vanguard when you first pursued Osiris here. We must hold this location at all costs. Glad to have you along, Guardian.
Come in, Crow. How's it going down there?
She helped the Guardian liberate me from Spider. I owe her.
I'm not your cousin, Lightbearer.
I suspect it's a case of mutual interests. Savathun is the enemy of everyone's enemy. Years ago, I asked your Guardian if they were satisfied by their vengeance. I would ask you the same.
Knowledge is only part of a winning strategy. Courage, fortitude, and firepower are the rest.
What makes you think, even for a moment, I'd be interested in that? Glint, how did you decide your Guardian was the right one?
Crow, I think I can feel her sometimes.
You deserve to know your people's history.
And then Savathun will kneel before the one true queen of the reef. Is that so? The coming attack could destabilize the Blindwell's energy regulation system.
We need to have hope. Otherwise, I don't know what Saint has left.
Yes, his concerns are all I imagine when I hear your voice.
The radiation they emit is largely unstudied. I wouldn't hold them for too long.
How so? Your Techians are scattered and the Dreaming City is on the verge of being overrun.
We need to replace the batteries for the Blindwell's regulators.
I'm sure we can carry them in shifts. Many hands make the light work, right? Savathun?
Without her, Osiris, the real Osiris, may be lost forever.
I will not fail you, my queen. I am your wrath, always. We've never seen Hive utilizing stasis. Don't you find that strange?
The paracausal batteries are of vital importance. Guard them with care. Perhaps it is fortunate that Crow has spread his wings. I do not know how he'd respond to the scorn after what Savathun has shown him. Xivu-Arath's forces are poised in the Ascendant Plane, waiting to burst through the blind well.
The light is a weapon, but it's also a tool. You know that. So do the Splicers.
Is anyone else concerned that there's more to Savathun's plan than she's letting on?
It does, actually. I feel a deep sadness for them. In a way, they remind me of myself.
Push back the Taken, but focus on their leadership. We need those Taken essences.
It's a necessary step, but unfortunately not sufficient.
Well, the Spider is a valued member of the shore's, ecosystem. I wouldn't want to offend. Beep, boop.
Yes. Before I became part of the Queen's Guard.
Clint, do you know if Ikora...
I have some suspicions I'll share with you later.
Some broken things are not so easily mended.
Xivu-Arath will stop at nothing to destroy her sister. Zavala told me to stand down when Mithrax brought House Light to the city. But if I'd been there...
Keep an eye on the harvesters. They'll indicate when the ether is about to be released.
The strong forcing the weak to fight on their behalf. It's the oldest story in the world.
There is so much more than you've seen. And all of that, it pales to what resides in the distributary.
Yes. Not even a hive god could break out of that prison.
Petra, I heard you used to be a Corsair. That's like what? The elite Awoken Special Forces? So Petra, we Guardians have this tradition. It started with a good friend. Drinks after a successful operation.
Crow, this is Ikora. Do you copy?
If your compass led us here, then we're about to have visitors.
Okay. Sorry, do you mean that you hope I'll trust her? Or that I'm worried too, but she has all the leverage?
My coven grows daily, but we must hold the blind well a while longer.
What do you think Savathun is going to do after she's freed from her worm?
We used to dream about this. Far-off kingdoms, queens, witches. Mystic adventures among the stars?
I don't care what Marasov thinks. This feels like it might be a bad idea.
That he is.
You know, he sent me a message recently. Something about bringing a bird back to its nest.
You had as much right as any to harbor anger for my brother's deeds, yet you stayed your hand when you learned of Crow.
With the regulators powered up, the blind well will be easier to travel through.
Too late. Petra, I heard Old Crow, before he was Crow, was looking for Mara. Could he have used the ley lines to find her?
Let's install those batteries and clear out all hostiles.
No games. If he wants to have a conversation, he knows where to find me. Thank you, Petra. In doing so, they opened the blind well to the rest of the Ascendant Plane. And Zivu Arath. Only the ones who are willing to listen.
Petra, how exactly would Zivu Arath gain access to these ley lines?
This is no time for sympathy. We're here to save the Dreaming City, not the Elixni.
Those servitors are dead, but they've still got reserve ether inside. We've got to destroy it before the Scorn can collect it.
Luckily for us, the batteries are charged with paracausal energy. They'll give you a useful aura against our enemies.
The energy contained in those batteries are attractive targets for the Taken and Scorn alike.
I don't think anything is that simple. But I feel like when we try to understand the darkness, we come up short.
If I may speak frankly, my queen, Aldrin was always a fool. He was too prideful to earn your acceptance.
And it hates us. I appreciate the Guardian's talent for finding lost things.
Better to lose the ether than the blind well. Good work, Guardian.
We are surrounded by terror. The Dreaming City cries out. On this, we agree.
Zivu Arath is sending in Taken as shock troops, and holding high forces in reserve.
Queen Mara, if your ritual goes according to plan, what will happen to Savathun? As much as the Scorn disgusts me, I still feel a strange pity for them.
Watching the Guardian work, I have had much time to reflect.
The Taken rifts are receding, and the area is secure.
Zivu Arath has plans for her sister. They do not involve a rescue.
Zivu Arath won't let them. They're driven by an insatiable need to heed her commands.
That used to be the case, until our new Techians cleverly repurposed it.
With each ley line we restore, we get closer to our lost Techians.
Then I guess we'd better replace those batteries. Taken essences are the key to this fight. Bank them to repel the assault.
It isn't too late. You can still be forgiven. Do I know you?
Queen Mara. Look how they've welcomed the Crow into their flock.
You must come home. Answer for what you have done. The Vanguard will show mercy.
I'm a bit lost, actually. But this feels familiar.
Osiris?
I'll hold you to it.
No, no, no!
Yes. Ikora and Commander Zavala are nothing if not generous.
I had hoped you'd find your way back.
Be careful.
It might surprise you to hear, but everything my siblings and I have done has been for each other. But then again, I'm the one trapped in the crystal prison. I've been keeping tabs on you. This construct protects me from those who wish me harm, from my worm's hunger. But it is a prison, too. Delightful to see so many working towards a common goal, isn't it? She's very upset with me. Or was it to protect themselves from Crow? What do I know? But we all have to let go. When I am separated from my worm, I'll be separated from Zivu Arath, too. I knew you'd be back. Now that Marasov's coven is assembled, the only thing left to do is to keep Zivu Arath from ruining things while the ley lines fall into position. Maybe one day, I will free you, too. You don't have to say it. We've all heard it before. Look at the Crow and Queen Mara. Siblings, bonded by cosmic fate, forever orbiting one another like binary stars. Her face is a perfect porcelain mask. But look behind her eyes, and you can see the incandescent rage burning within. Now, how many saw beyond your ghost? It would be better for Crow if we talked. I want to explain why I did what I did. Don't give me that look. I told you that you can't stop the inevitable. Something to reflect on. If people didn't want him to know, was it to protect Crow from himself? Oh, anticipation. I can hardly wait to taste the open air again. I'm glad I can again be the catalyst that brings humanity and the reef together. Someone who could have colored the truth about how he died to turn him against you. Against the Traveler. Then look down at that little gun in your hand and tell me, what do you think you're going to do with that thing? It's a pity Mara Sov doesn't see it that way. I do so enjoy our talks. This may take some time, but I have waited millennia to be free. I can hold out for just a little bit longer, and then my sister will be alone. The last of us. But as much as I care for her, they call me a liar. But we share mutual interests, you and I. If you believe anything I tell you, believe in that. Do you feel my worm's delicious panic? The possibilities just beyond it. Soon, your victories against my sister. The mess you've made of the Ascendant Plane while you rescued your third-string witches. When this is over, I hope my good friend Mara Sov isn't disappointed. Remind her, all promises kept, much to her chagrin. I want him to know that my affection is true. Thank you. I won't forget. And without my worm, I'll be free to help you even more than I already have. Deep down, Crow wanted to know. He was going to find out one way or another, guardian taboos or no. When this is over, I wonder if Mara will uphold her end of the bargain and let me live. Listen to me now. Look beyond me to my worm. Look beyond my worm to something far, far worse. Everything is ready. I'm ready. Now, let me show you a different interpretation of the truth. I know what it's like to be an exile. To be hated for things outside of your control. Because the less he knows, the more vulnerable he is. Doomed to be strung along by false promises from supposed benefactors. As if you were incapable of lifting your eyes from a scroll of chalk on the ground. The Traveler in the light near one foot, your old enemies and the darkness at the other. Let me tell you a secret. I've been thinking about family quite a bit. What with all the spare time I have. If you ever want to see what's been watching you since the very beginning, just stand on that line and look up. Killing me is probably at the top of your to-do list as well, isn't it? Of all the enemies you've fought, how many saw your ghost and realized, that's why Guardians are so strong? I see your synapses firing. A specimen scarred by skepticism. You should thank me. Just imagine if it had come from someone with bad intentions, though Petrovenge seems perfectly willing to try. You've done so well. We were both looking for our purpose. Now that the Crow has found his as a guardian, he can see it for what it truly is. I cannot stay like this. I'm so glad we get to talk. You and that charming little ghost of yours, you're not like the rest. I've always sympathized with Crow, you know. All the kind words I shared with him as Osiris were sincere. I have only one regret, and that is how long it took me to reveal myself to you. You've done a lot of killing over the years. Let me ask you something. And you understand, don't you? Despite the excruciatingly binary worldview of those around you, how many followed the line of your light straight back to the Traveler? And how many knew enough to aim a weapon there? Even though the Vanguard isn't quite the same, they're no different at heart. Not good or evil, not light or dark, or this or that. This will be our last talk until the day of the ritual, O Guardian mine. You're not afraid of my words. Quite elegant, don't you think? Words are just thoughts given shape. Ideas emerging into the physical world, birthed by a mouth. But I would never do such a thing. I see too much of myself in him. A few. The smart ones, the dangerous ones. You'd recognize their names. A second chance. You'd do anything for your family, chosen or otherwise. Go to any lengths to avenge them. The line between light and dark is so very thin. Farewell. For now. Not most, but some. They might have even taken a shot at it. R.I.P. Cade. I am at your mercy, Guardian. Mara reminds me of my sister. She's afraid. Holding on so tightly because she can't bear to lose one more thing. You can't stop the inevitable. No one can.
Though we will see the silent never again, we will carry them with us, always. This day is marked by glory and sadness. Our house believes that light flows through all, through the great machine, and through you, Guardian. Today our kin, Elixni and human, went together into the House of Silence. There, they are united in the light. The light provides.
Be patient, little light. He'll come around.
I would not let them dangle carelessly without attention.
This needs to be done with as minimal risk to your people as possible.
Saint, you don't have to broadcast these live.
Your opinion is noted.
Had you more wishes, they'd be much worse.
Crow, you have my full support. If you want to be reassigned, I can do that. But maybe you need to take some time first. Savathun's never been a one-track type of opponent. She's playing you.
You will see freedom. You will return. It is not your way to die.
If you're willing to sacrifice my people for your plans...
Well, do you know, what Savathun showed, Crow? How long did it take Mara to forgive you? For what happened to him?
In a word, vulnerable. But Queen Mara refuses to send him away.
We now know this was a deception. An illusion spread by our enemies to turn us against each other.
How do you know?
Understood. Don't rush this on my account.
If my assurances mean nothing to you, let me offer a warning instead. You are following your doubts into Savathun's trap.
Even lies can be learned from.
With you, with the Vanguard, with everything.
I hope this broadcast represents our efforts to the contrary.
And your crow loves you. I know you hope that this will lead you to Osiris, because Uldren was always a fool for love.
Your arrogance might kill another one of my friends, if he isn't dead already. You are always welcome in the tower, but I will be in the streets. It's true I made mistakes, out of an idea of justice, out of grief.
Who sent him into Savathun's clutches?
Who bludgeoned Uldren into a scared animal and drove him from his home?
Recently, the Vanguard has been scrutinized for a lack of transparency. And we've paid for it. Besides, I could use you in the field.
I see. This is true. No amount of hive spawn or Savathun's trickery will stand between us.
Petra has paid her dues. The Vanguard murdered him and is yet to pay theirs. Certainty is a necessity. It is your doubts we should fear with Savathun among us.
I need an operative to act as an intermediary with Empress Keitel. It's an important responsibility.
Navigating the future is not always clear.
If I stop moving right now, I'm afraid I'm going to fall apart at the seams. I need to keep moving, but I can't do that here.
Remember who you are speaking to. I hold all the keys to all your futures.
Compassion can be abused. Optimism has its pitfalls. Flaws don't make them worthless. Saint?
You have never practiced patience, but hold on a few moments more.
Savathun may be waiting for the freedom she thinks is coming. But frankly, I don't care what she wants. You did, Mara. And those guardians who hurt him did so out of misguided anger.
I need to be as far away from her as possible.
Then tell me, who am I to blame?
Who?
Yes. I am, if nothing else, useful. Have the Hidden found him?
Don't make their same mistake. Don't make my mistake. Maybe we could discuss it in person. Done? Long enough to watch over him in your absence.
The truth, I imagine. Or perhaps some shade of it. My queen is furious.
Petra? Miss Venge? Can you hear me?
I trust Crow to make the right choices. Know that this battle is not one we are bringing to your doorstep, but it is one we fight to keep the city out of the line of fire.
Wait for me, as I did for you.
Trust is a delicate thing, Petra. I don't want to lose his. This is important to him.
So could I.
And for you to protect him from himself if he doesn't.
As I speak this, guardians of the city patrol across the system searching for you. I am searching for you.
Though, you could. What do you need? It's not your fault. But you want my opinion? Osiris is already dead. Savathun is a creature of lies. She has no honor.
He won't tell me.
The Vanguard asks for your patience and understanding. If you can offer those, we will offer what insights we can to your questions. People of the last city.
My brother is dead. He was exhumed, his body twisted into caricature. You had your vengeance. I mourn for Sagira. I have every intention to see Osiris returned safely. It's more than you did for me.
More than that, you are needed.
While we've recovered some of the lost Techians, we still don't have everyone we need to separate Savathun from her worm.
Be straight with me. Our allegiance is what the Witch Queen fears. It is what she meant to stop by sowing discord. It is what will lead us to victory. Was Osiris's capture part of your plan then? Sagira's death?
I'll be at the tower soon.
We both lost family. I'm sorry for my part in yours, but Crow has been treated...
Had I more wishes, things would not be as they are.
Do not worry. I think I will not be using compassion next time Savathun stands before me.
Geppetto can establish a repeating signal. It will forward any response directly to you.
I knew it was not him, but I would not listen to my heart.
Osiris is out there. We will find him. No, I think we have a whole different set of emotions to deal with that moment.
You want my take? On him?
What happened? Are you leveling this same scrutiny toward Petra? Wasn't she supposed to be watching his grave? Some days it's more pronounced than others. Vengeance didn't erode that grief.
No. I suppose it isn't.
And you're certain she's contained. There was a concern he'd pick up some old habits.
I don't want to talk about it. I want out now. Either you reassign me or I'm done.
Petra, it's Ikora Ray. I thought now would be a good time to check in.
Oh, I'm sorry. For a lot of things, but mostly for Crow. Being Crow.
And on the subject of opinions, how's Crow?
How long have your Hidden been privy to Uldren's resurrection? We are not the same, Ikora. This is a plan long set in motion. She is contained and soon to be dead.
Ikora, I need to get out of here.
And you didn't direct him home. Why?
Many of you came to me having witnessed the Vex attack. Many of you claim to have seen Osiris present there.
You know the garden made him sick. Riven twisted his mind. Eris would have seen it. She is not so easily deceived by skin-deep tricks.
It worked for a time. And we mourn those lost to the senseless violence unleashed in our streets.
I could have told him. Osiris, I will not abandon you.
Would you mind working with someone you know? Things are progressing as well as can be expected, given the circumstances. Is that what you're after? Cade, I still feel that grief like a stone caught in my chest. How can I be sure you'll wait to see Osiris returned before slitting the Witch Queen's throat? To Uldren? But we have overcome that fear, and we now stand united. Humanity, Elixni, and the Awoken of the Reef.
It's not the same. Save it for the Hive, both of you. This isn't getting us anywhere.
Don't. Don't come any closer.
No. I won't give that witch another chance to dig her claws into you. You know I am. Sabathun is already in your head. You're a liability to the mission.
A knife against a hunter? I'd be more careful who you pick fights with. I know. Just let me speak to Sabathun, please. I'm not him. You were kind to me. I thought you were my friend. Stop.
If that's what you want.
Crow, don't. Please.
You know this better than anyone. Shrinking away from the rumors of the man you used to be.
Keep both eyes on that one. Better men than you died because of it.
You lied to me! I want the truth.
I was kind to you because I wanted to be. Because the truth hurts. Someone had to. Better for it to have come from a friend.
Oh no. Everything I did for her. You hurt him.
No, wait!
I helped you break Xivu Aras's hold on the shore, brought you to the last city, offered you guidance.
Well, I don't take commands from the Queen of the Reef. Maybe she's right, Crow. Osiris was like family to me. What did you show him?
Am I not? If the truth is what you really want, then lay your hand on me.
Sabathun unraveled the Dreaming City with a single wish. I've spent years trying to contain that mistake.
Why do you have such a problem with me, Petra? 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking.
Everything.
Another step, and my Corsairs will have to prepare you a second grave. You've never even met him.
Thank you. We could all probably use a minute to cool off.
How can you say that when you don't even know who he is?
To my ear, it sounds like you're the liability. Maybe your queen's trust in you was misplaced.
See? Even your ghost thinks you're better off in the dark.
Crow.
The Queen of the Reef forbids it.
When we last spoke, I saw your potential. Now that you have returned, I see your resilience.
Sabathun knew she could use that. The city is the last place Xivu Arath would have searched for her. There's so much I need to reevaluate. So much I need to do. This is my fault. I invited her in. I convinced Zavala that we needed Osiris by our side. Now, Saint is tearing the system apart, looking for the real Osiris. You and Crow will need to take point with the Awoken. I don't like it, but he wants to help, and he's earned some trust. It's his decision. We're in a downpour of revelation. Interrogate the Witch Queen while we have a captive audience. Our enemies often flirt with arrogance when they believe they've won. I've been trying to analyze every drop of information, as if I could isolate them before they're washed away. A dark pit looked back every time I met his eyes, and I told myself it was his grief. See if she'll let her true intentions slip.
I don't need to be Marasov to see into your mind, Guardian. Between them lies an intermeshing of ever-shifting pathways, known as ley lines.
Preparations for Sabathun's exorcism are underway, but the ritual can't begin without a cosmic alignment. It will take time.
Listen, I know your crow intends to accompany you. Mara also wants him close. Then we'll use the blind well to tear open a rift and send you through to find them.
But without her worm, Savathun is vulnerable, unprotected by the security of her throne world. Then she had the audacity to steal him from the Traveler, manipulate him and lead him back home.
They are young, with many years left to train. You've preserved their potential. Thank you.
I feel the desire for approval in him, as I felt it in Aldrin. And he idolized Osiris, almost as much as he idolizes you. These creatures are not evil because they wield darkness from you. In spite of Zavala's preconceptions, darkness is not inherently evil. Some among you already discovered this on Europa.
Queen Mara has already told you we must recover our lost Techians in order to free Savathun from her servitude to the worm gods.
I still think about him all the time. The sound of that gunshot.
They are evil because, like Savathun and Xivu Arath, they are cruel, hateful things with no regard for the lives of others. The time is at hand. The beacons shine bright and the ley lines are set in place.
Imagine the universe as a set of coins, stacked, one on top of the other. The top coin is our reality. The bottom, the ascendant plane.
The Black Fleet could have destroyed us, and yet they have waited. Why?
But with Mara back, I can finally see the end approaching. It's been a long time coming.
To use the Taken in her campaign against us. For now. I know you have reservations about my arrangement with Savathun. I feel it in your heart. Savathun claims that without the Taken, she cannot break the curse she placed on the Dreaming City. We are surrounded, a ring of spears pointing inward from the edges of our system. Some might say that includes me as well. I will let history be the judge of my guilt.
Aldrin and your crow are echoes of each other. Surely you can see that.
My coven of Techians is almost assembled. Well done. I will do what must be done, but know that Xivu Arath won't let her sister, or her sister's worm, go without a fight. We must uncover whatever secrets she knows with the time that we have. I must reiterate, she will try to betray us. The risk of her cunning is too great, no matter her intentions.
I'm here if you need me.
She suspects I do not mean to let her live once the separation ritual is complete, and is testing our patience. Perhaps she means only to hurt me.
It's hard to imagine there's a safer place for him than at her side, but this is for the best.
Our Techians went to retrieve Queen Mara on my orders. This can't fail. Not because of him.
Before that judgment is cast, I will see my Techians returned. We must all learn to live alongside our monsters. The blind well requires alignment. As you rescue my remaining Techians, continue your audiences with her. This reunion is such cruel kindness. I will find a way to repay her for it. The light is not inherently good, as your warlords of the Dark Age so clearly demonstrated. When I first saw Crow, I looked into his mind. I did not see my brother's memories. I call on you once more, Guardian. Your knack for violence is needed. Few still live. Most were lost guiding my return to the dreaming city when Xivu Arath ambushed us. But I can still feel their minds. Approach, Guardian. It is strange, having him here. And yet not. It is why Xivu Arath pursues her so relentlessly. For Xivu Arath answers to the same entity as the Black Fleet.
Almost all the ancient pathways are now defunct, but beings of paracausal ability can navigate and rebuild them.
I worry that the crow is especially susceptible. How did Mies Rex put it? Steel your mind when you face her, Guardian. The Witch Queen is no less dangerous now than she has ever been.
Xivu Arath is desperate to capture her sister. Her forces, which now include the Taken, will attempt to stop you at every turn.
Do you understand why I forbade him from speaking with Savathun? Until the conditions are right for us to exorcise her worm, I am restricting all access to Savathun. Crow is a wounded bird, flinching away from me, so much like Uldren, but lost without a guiding hand. To separate Savathun from the parasite inside her, I need Techians, skilled awoken mystics. Savathun dredged them from a place beyond my grasp when she revealed his past life to him. But she underestimates the lengths to which I will go to correct the past. Or, if Savathun is to be believed, their original master. It is all that a wretched, self-serving creature like Savathun knows how to do. Although she claims she will help us in our fight against the Black Fleet and the entity that commands it, she cannot be trusted.
You think I barred Crow out of pettiness? I won't say I didn't recommend it, but it was the Queen's order, for his own safety.
Make your final preparations and head to the Dreaming City. She divulges more to you than I, Guardian, though it can be difficult to separate poisonous words from the honeyed ones.
Prince Uldren and I were friends once, you know, in our own strange way.
Do not forget what has been asked of you. We will see you when you arrive. She thinks she can entice me with these half-truths and secret temptations. Relight the pathways of the Ascendant Plane and guide my people back to me. Until the ritual is ready, continue charting ley line passages. We are so close to bringing the last of my lost Techians home. I will, however, afford you one last meeting to conclude your investigations before I seal her away. I have already learned much by observation. The Taken pursued her here, Taken she once controlled, Taken that now serve a new master. I recognize the risk. Her inevitable betrayal is all but a guarantee. We Awoken were born of light and dark. Our perspective on the universe is a complex one. It commands Xivu Arath to conquer the ascendant space surrounding the Dreaming City.
You saw what Savathun did to him. She could do more.
It is the entity that commands them all. The voice in the darkness. In my travels, I have seen true evil. It is the worm gods that the Hive serve. It is the Black Fleet, waiting to strike. Perhaps with them I can save us all.
This is the art of wayfinding.
For all her clever machinations, the Witch Queen did not anticipate your success in stopping Quria or the Endless Night. Savathun has done so much to destroy everything my people worked for. Not her brother, Oryx, but something far older. She fears it. My Techians are prepared to perform the ritual that will separate Savathun from her worm. Her schemes unravel, and now she needs my protection from Zibu Arath, from the worm gods.
I will tell you how. There are still Techians in need of your strength. I wish I could fill their place, but this must be how things are.
She stole my brother from me, twisted his mind, and delivered him to his executioners.
We know our lost Techians are stranded somewhere among the ley lines, and they're leaving us markers to follow.
Soon all there will be left to do is wait for the ley lines to fall into position. Then we may exorcise Savathun's worm and reclaim Osiris. Each ascendant beacon you reawaken reclaims a road once lost to me, broadens my sight, but my realm still aches. Savathun knows more than she lets on. It is the only reason she still lives, and she is keenly aware of that fact. We have one last Techian to locate. Go forth. Mortal.
I'm forwarding you the coordinates to the first marker. It should tell us which ley line to look in. I tried to do the same for Crow, even if it pains my queen to see him leave. I see Prince Uldren's arrogance in him, his desire to please. He's vulnerable. You think I'm making a mistake?
My wrath, Petravenge, will brief you further. The mystic compass you hold will reveal pathways to each lost Techian.
They share kindred weaknesses. Savathun will exploit them again if we let her.
Believe me when I tell you that I did not know of Savathun's deception until she arrived in the Dreaming City. You have coaxed enough information from her for my purposes. And you will continue to bring me the Techians I need to do so. She offered me a bargain. If I exorcise her worm, she will release Osiris and help us defeat the Black Fleet. Though I suppose he never said for how long. She needs me to free herself of her worm, but after that...
He's free now. To find his way between the stars. If only we could all be so lucky. I want to express my gratitude for saving our new coven of Techians.
I deserve answers. Tell her whatever you want. I'll see you again when I'm ready, because it's not about me. It's about who I was, isn't it? Every time the Vanguard tells me that things will get better, I thank them, as if it's a privilege not to be beaten to death. Our past lives aren't supposed to matter. I'm beginning to wonder why I'm the only guardian being judged by mine. One where I can be somewhere I know my choices are my own. Uldren Sov, awoken prince, brother to the queen, murderer. You'd known him far longer than I thought I had, but I don't see her forbidding you from speaking to her. You did what you had to do. I don't think I would have told me either. I saw everything he did. Through his eyes. Venge thinks I'm vulnerable, and I'm supposed to just take a seat? Like I was the only one fooled by Savathun wearing Osiris' skin? Savathun's visions were like a waking dream. I could feel the heat of the flames. Taste the blood in my mouth. No more apologies. No more creeping around on eggshells. Now I know the man I was. Tell Mara I'm sorry. And you. You're afraid of who I used to be. That he'll come back somehow. I am too. So I've asked Ikora to put me on another assignment.
Myself included. There is still good to draw from who he was. Don't squander it. Long ago, great kestrels roamed the sky. They built ornate nests in the heavens like conquerors. But even Marasov cannot control everyone. But in their arrogance, they ignored whispers of storms on the wind. Until one day, one such storm swept over them. I still feel Uldren's heartbeat. Somewhere out there. There, a mother kestrel guarded her clutch. 2 shells, bonded inseparably. I will have to offer him more than an old story of an empty promise if I wish to see that ember burn again. I celebrate his resurrection in the light. But I detest seeing my brother rewritten, his greater self sloughed away and swept into the cellar. I hope he is more than the last ebb of hot ash from a long dead flame. Approach, Guardian. I have an awoken tale to tell you. One my brother recited to our people's children quite often. Their mother plucked feathers from her plumage, and one from each child. Ager's scepter is yours, then, both its burden and the freedom it can provide. Be careful with it, Guardian. He is prone to devotion. It collapsed the heavens, drowned their nests. Many of his faults were not of his own making. Uldren's decisions were his, of course, but driven by whips in the hands of others. A daughter, Riga. A son, Ager. Their hearts beat in unison, knowing they would one day wish to leave the hollow to face the storm. When your crow first stood in my halls, I saw an ember of my Uldren burning in his breast. So they fled, and the storm pursued them. Most died, but a fated few washed upon the shores of a great hollow oak. This is the path I led Uldren down. If certain actors had kept to their roles, I would have wielded Uldren Salve, Light-Bearer. When you return, I will tell you the rest. He needs a star to guide him. Uldren or Crow, they are the same in that regard. Curiosity, and a sibling fondness, told me I could stoke that ember. I hope it is not a lie. And they grew. Riga, intuitive and cunning. Ager, loyal but adventurous. For Riga she crafted a crown to keen her mind, centered by Ager's luminous feather. For Ager she crafted a scepter, cored by his sister's obsidian feather, to guide his spirit. There is truth in this tale. The scepter and crown, they are real. One I already have. The other, you will retrieve for me.
I deserve an audience with Savathun. I deserve to know how much of what she told me as Osiris was a lie.